Hello people, and welcome back to part 69 of Burgusia, the city's Skylines build guide. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And thanks for all the support on the Castle Town episode. You guys really enjoyed it. We had some good suggestions of putting some cemeteries down here, kind of almost as though they're kind of old ancient cemeteries associated with the castle, which we'll probably do at some point. But some big news, guys. Today will be the last building episode of the build guide, and part 70 will be the finale. The big cinematic tour. We're going to do some really cool things. Got some good ideas planned for it. So yeah, this will be the final build episode of Burgusia, and it's quite sad. I'm really kind of disheartened by it. It's been such a good city to build. You guys have really enjoyed it, and yeah, thanks for all the support. There is one order of business we need to take care of before we do anything today, and this is renaming our transport hub into the Spartan Transport Centre. So we're naming this after one of our moderators, Spartan. We said we'd name it after him. And you know, this is one of his favourite builds, and a lot of your guys as well. The frame rate is tanking around here, so we can't stay for too long. And the last build of the series is going to be something of a rebuild. So over here, we're by the oil town and the science centre here, and kind of the green town's a little way over there. So this little build right here is a train interchange. So you can see we have intercity trains that are coming from outside the map. They're stopping here. People are getting off using the elevated zoo path, to my just pure enjoyment. We love seeing people use these things. And then they're coming over here, and then they're catching a couple of different lines that take them into various corners and areas of the map. However, as you can see, it's extremely busy. And it's not really kind of up to purpose anymore. So we're going to kind of redesign and rebuild a major rail interchange today, using one of the multi-platform end stations, and we'll still be using this one as well to accept the outside trains. And we're also going to make a little more fuss of the rail network here, make it a little more grand, and also the entrance to the town as well, because this is a little underwhelming. So first order of business, I'm going to go ahead and rip all of this out, so we'll be right back. Alright, so it's all gone, and we've got quite the space to play with here. There's a lot of room to do some really nice things, and kind of make the rail infrastructure a little more kind of grandiose and important. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw out our road and kind of get in our kind of main train station first of all. So I think we'll kind of come out from this road right here, and let's see if we come out by, let's just come out by a nice even, is that like 40, 50 tiles or something? About 40, wasn't it? It's got a big main road here, so let's have a look at some transport hubs. So during my testing of this, there's currently a bug in the game where that intercity trains will not arrive at the multi-platform end stations, even though they are kind of coded to do so. I had a little look on some forums as well, and people have been experiencing the same issue, so it looks like it's bugged in the game at the minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to still use the regular train station to accept the external trains, so we need to kind of factor that in, and I think we'll probably have it about here. So we'll start out by building our little train station here, but I don't just want the smaller train station to sit right opposite kind of the big important main one here. I do want a little bit of kind of a park feature out in front. So that's what we'll do. Let's go ahead and paint our little park area here. And we'll kind of push up here. And then let's have a little look. And we're going to be kind of deleting and changing this road to generate pedestrian crossings as well. So that should be quite fun. Okay, so let's come out. We want to leave probably 4 tiles in between. And let's actually come out by 11. So we'll come out up to there. And then we want to come out from this side as well. And yeah, that's fine. So what we can do now is let's go ahead and grab a side gate. We'll put that in. And then we'll have our path connect through, and then this will allow us to just put some plazas in opposite our train station. which will give it a much more kind of impressive feel kind of as you walk out of this thing. You'll be greeted by this nice big plaza. And it will also allow us to kind of cheese the park economy a little bit, because people are going to be walking down here to actually get to the train station. They won't always, sometimes they will walk around the edge, but you know, it's always a nice way to cheese our sims. So we'll have the train station itself here. Where's the rail line? Okay, it's just over there. So we'll pop this not quite centered. We'll have it about there, I think. That should be a nice way. And then what we want to do is we're going to delete this road right here. And then we'll drag it up to kind of just the edge of the plaza. We'll switch to a regular road. And then this will generate us a ton of pedestrian crossings right opposite the park, which means they'll cross over. And like I said, you know, some will use the sidewalk and the pavements to get around, and others will choose to walk through the park and actually pay in order to get over there, which just seems a little bit ridiculous, but I'm not going to say no. So we'll whack the ticket price up, and eventually we'll see some people kind of moving through here. So let's have a look at the rail lines here. So let's begin to draw out. So not every platform on this station is going to be kind of end up being used. It'll probably, this one will stay dead in the middle one. And then we'll kind of converge some of these into the same line, and some will have kind of their own dedicated platforms. So we'll just kind of see as to how the traffic flow is. You might also notice I'm leaving the game unpaused for this whole duration, just so I can see where the old layouts was. So you can see we had the old train station here, and then we'll just kind of see how things flow. So this is the current rail interchange, and this isn't really ideal. Let's take this back a little bit. Okay, we'll bring it up to there. So we'll bring that elevation step down. I don't think we're going to need to be elevated for this particular bit anyway. Let me just soften this terrain out a tiny little bit here. Let's bring this road back as well. We will have to redesign some nasty surface painter textures going on here. We'll sort that out in the detailing. So probably 2 tiles away from the road would be a good point. This is also going to give our industry kind of a much grander feel as well, in terms of kind of, you know, you're going to have all these trains that are just passing by, and just make it feel a lot more kind of industrial, which will be a little happy accident. Let's take this back a little bit and then draw him in. Super. Okay, so we'll have this guy. So this is the line that runs over to the airport. It also stops at University Town, Braithwaite, yeah, and then it heads off into the downtown. So we've got quite a long line that's coming out of this one. So what we'll do now is we'll bring this guy out by, say, 30. We'll have a nice kind of big straight approach into the station. And then we'll begin to use our freeform tool. So now we've got that one in, we'll just start to factor in some of the other lines as well. Super. So even already from the bird's eye view now, we can see this kind of much more important rail infrastructure beginning to generate, which will be really cool. So the next line is coming out of this way over here, so we'll factor that in. Let's bring him over. And I guess we'll just come out by an interval of 10 and bring him down to the ground, or 11, I guess would be a nice little happy medium. And then we can have him flow in like that. Amazing. So we've got 2 more. So what we'll do is right here is we'll merge this one into that point. So this will now split into 2 platforms, which will allow us to run kind of 2 different trains along this line. Because if you notice kind of along the national park here, we have the rail station, but there are also 2 lines that run underneath it. So I'm pretty sure most of us would have been at a train station at some point in our lives. And you may have noticed that not every train stops at the platform, right? So we'll have trains that come down this same line, but they won't stop at the national park station here. They will just carry on either into the downtown or down into the transport hub down here. So no, there's a couple of different routes for them to take. So we'll have a couple of different lines that almost travel on the same line but stop at different places, if that makes sense. Okay, so we've got this kind of coming in here now. We'll begin to bring this one up as well. We may add in another train loop kind of along here. I don't know, maybe have a little train that runs around this area, because we do have the metro that kind of serves this, so the train might be a little bit overkill. But we will kind of see how that develops. So let's start to bring this guy a little further along. Let's come out by another 10. And then we'll curve him in like that. Let's actually take this one back, and then we'll curve him in. So when you're kind of merging rail lines like this, it's a good idea to leave kind of a good trained distance between each of the junctions. Even this one might be a little bit close, so I think what we'll do is we'll actually knock this back a little bit further. Because otherwise they're going to start getting congested as they come in. So it's just something to bear in mind if you're kind of building like a major rail switch point like this. Alright, let's get our 2 cargo terminals hooked up here. So this is actually the external line, and I want this to be lined up kind of perfectly with the actual train station itself. So we'll make sure we get that one in first. And that's going to be a super easy connection. Got some great opportunity for some walking paths kind of over from this side to this side as well. We'll definitely do something with that. And then of course let's begin to bring this guy together, and then something similar with this one as well. So we'll have it separate for a little bit before it kind of connects back up, and we'll probably do that. So we're having our 2 cargo train stations that are kind of serving the major oil industry over here. These guys will just hook straight into the outside line. However, we also need to remember to hook this guy in as well. So let's come into our curve road tool, and we'll kind of make a little, just a little connection here, and then he's going to be able to kind of come in and out. So yeah, it's a little bit of a bug. It would have been really cool to totally delete this kind of interchange, but there is a bug in the game at the moment. Intercity trains, at least on the PC version, they will not ever arrive at one of these stations. However, they will at these. I'd be interested to know if you guys have experienced the same bug, but during my testing of this, they just weren't arriving, and as soon as I switched out for the small one, they did start to arrive. And on the back of that, there's also a number of posts on the forums that are kind of saying, you know, this is a little bit of a bug at the moment, so a little bit of a shame, but we can work with it. So I think we'll also run a small industrial road kind of parallel with the station here, and maybe almost kind of use this as like, it's like a rail maintenance road, you know? And we can maybe get some zoning in here, maybe some very light, almost kind of industrial buildings. I don't know, we'll do some detailing with this point here. Because I know we can use kind of the better, more beautification stuff to kind of drop in, you know, like freight containers and stuff around here. You know, you get into kind of the real heavy modded aspect of detailing up a train station when you're doing this, but it's fun to do. Okay, so far this is kind of how we're looking, and I really like this kind of pattern here that develops when you have all the rail lines coming out. It looks super impressive. Okay, so now we need to look at connecting the road network back up, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to have to come out of a bridge, and I don't want the bus lanes here anymore. We might actually do cycle lanes. Let's put a cycle highway through here. So we'll come out by 10 and then up by 4. That's going to give us a really nice little incline. And now all we need to do is begin to move across. So you would have noticed if we'd have had this one coming out, we wouldn't be able to fit between these rail lines here. So you can still use this platform totally. All you would need to do is just kind of merge it into one of them next to it. Obviously come out a little bit further. But you can still do that if you wanted to. Okay, so we'll cross over the rail here, that's perfect. Now I do want a little bit of leeway. Looks like it's bugged out. Let's come out by there, because I want the road to enter town to run under the bridge here and alongside the rail. So I'm going to come out by 10, and then we're going to descend back to the earth, and then we'll hook back into the town like that. Fantastic. So now let's have a little discussion about what's going to happen with this road. So I'm happy with kind of the national road here. I don't want it to be kind of a big highway like we have everywhere else. And then just a little shout out to this kind of tiered interchange. How nicely did this turn out? I do really enjoy this. It gets some good usage as well. People enjoy driving around it. So again, using our freeform tool, we're going to start kind of moving up alongside the road here. Let's begin to get him in. So we'll have this way as a one way. So let's kind of have it like that. And we'll worry about kind of switching our directions in a moment as well. So maybe let's come down a little further, and then we'll come into our curve tool, and then say curve out by that much. We'll bring our road straight out. We have a while snapping on here? Yeah, we do. I really just want to snap to the angle, not the road guideline. That's what's giving me the issue. So we'll go for about there. And then we'll take that back just a little bit again. Super. And that's going to give us a little nice smooth, almost kind of, I think the phrase, at least in America, I don't know what we call these type of interchanges in England. I think this is a turnpike. I'm not too sure. Maybe someone in the comments can correct me on that. So what we'll do now is we'll have our road begin to come out this way, and we'll have the toll booth again because that worked tremendously well. Not only for kind of staggering the traffic flow in and out of the town, but for making us a ton of money as well, which is always appreciated. Super. So now we'll go ahead and grab the two-way version again. And do we want to... Yeah, I think maybe we'll come out from this side instead. And then hook in like that. We've got a nice little bit of terrain texture developing here as well. I don't like these high densities. Are these 2x2 high density? Yeah, they are. They're disgusting. They are not... not sure how I feel about this whole bank of residential here. I think what we'll do is, as part of this build, we're going to rebuild this high street. Because these look awful. It's kind of one of my biggest pet peeves of cities skylines is seeing those high density commercial assets from behind. They look, oh no, it's not for me. Alright, so let's have a little look at how they're going to get into the town. So first of all, we'll draw out. I actually want to come out straight a little bit first, just so there's a little bit of a run up. And we may even change this kind of first initial road into just a regular one-way road. We'll kind of see how it works. Okay, and then of course switch that direction. So we need to do some traffic manager here. We're not going to do too many important things, we're just turning off traffic lights. Oh, guess who hasn't been down this road to do the traffic lights? I must have forgotten to do this little stretch. To be fair, there's a lot of stretches in the city that aren't turned off. Okay, so this junction right here does have the possibility of becoming very congested. However, we need to bear in mind that people also have other ways into the town, like kind of down here on this interchange, and then also via this connection as well. So, it's not going to get too busy, but there is something that we can do to help it kind of survive a little bit better. So, what we're going to do is we're going to create another park area. And I think we'll place this down here, and of course we'll go ahead and grab our park area as well. And, we'll just kind of paint this up along the road guideline. And then we'll bring it kind of down here. Might be a little too big on this side, we'll trim it up away from the suburb here. Just kind of take that away. There we go. Amazing. And then we'll have another side gate, so we're what? We're 3 tiles in from the road here. So we do it there, and then we should be okay. So let's turn this area, kind of here, into a park. Because what's going to be happening, we're going to be having thousands of people use this thing a week, right? There's going to be metro hooked into it as well, which I'll hook in a moment. There's going to be trains, both inner city and kind of intercity. And it's going to be just super busy. There's going to be so much foot traffic around here. So it's kind of the perfect opportunity to cheese the life out of it with park life. So let's grab our elevated zoo paths, of course, for one last time. It wouldn't be right not to use the zoo paths, I think. So we'll come out by 2. And then we'll come up by 3. And then let's also throw in the park side gate over here, because we are going to need this one as well. So we'll turn this whole block into a park, and then we can trim this one up as well. This one doesn't need to be nearly as big as it is. There we go. Just going to push it around there. There we go. Super. I'll grab our side gate, and I think we'll kind of stick to the general rule of leaving kind of a 3-block gap between each of the buildings and the roads. That seems to be a little happy medium. Okay, so now we're going to follow the pillars of the bridge. So if you don't have the cycle lanes on your road, then you could actually turn this into a cycle highway. That'd be a nice little technique. So we know that we're coming down to the ground again here now, so we'll come on down here, and then we'll hook into there. And we can do some park detailing around here if we want, throw in some park assets, kind of see how I feel. So how are we looking for the bird's eye view now? Already much more impressive infrastructure for the start of a town, right? We've got this little kind of turnpike loop. Heads out through a toll booth. Got some really nice opportunity to put in some more of those high density residentials and the high school and the fire station again as well. It's going to be amazing. Excuse me if you can hear the tyres screeching outside, guys. I think so. Fast and the Furious have returned for the 20th film. Let's make sure we get the same measurements here. So from top to bottom we're 102. Fantastic. And then what we can do is we'll bring him up and over the little freeway here. There's going to be so much opportunity for detailing with fences and trees and rocks around kind of this little bridge switch point here. It's going to be really good. We may even switch the bridge over, kind of move it over here as well. And then have a gate down here just so it stops people using this pedestrian crossing. Because that might help. How would that look? Let's kind of measure that out. So again, we're 3 tiles away. So really we just want to snap to the grid and the angle for this. It'll make it much easier for us. Okay, then we're going to come down by 102. How does that look? I don't think I want another path coming over this way, which really throws the symmetry. Because it would come down kind of in the oil industry here. Got some trees we need to take care of here as well. So do you know what I mean? I think it would kind of be a little bit grim to have a park gate here. I'm not too sure if that's really what we want. Anyway, we'll try it out. We'll see how it goes towards the detail. And if we don't like it, then we can just bin it off. So we'll bring our park area down a little further here. And then we'll throw in another side gate. And then we'll grab our zoo path. Super. Amazing. So I think now, guys, it's going to be time to go ahead and plop in the metro lines and then redraw the rest of the... Looks like we've got a broken line here as well. I'm guessing this... Yeah, this is the bus line, isn't it? Okay, let's have a little look at this one. Let's go into our lines overview. Okay, so it's this one. By the way, this is a great opportunity to point out how helpful it is to name your public transport lines. Oh, well, I haven't done bus line 11. I know this one is the Oil Coast train station. This is perfect, so I can just delete this one. And then the little marker goes away, and we know that we have to redraw in just a little bus station to help people move around. Although, to be honest, it's not really important anymore because of the new infrastructure in the metro, so the buses will probably stay able. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead, guys, draw in the metro lines and redraw in the train lines across the map. And then we'll come back and kind of see how this thing starts functioning with some people in here. Alright guys, so we're about ready to hit play here. Let's have a quick overview of the train lines. Let's come into our lines overview. So you can see we've named them all again. So we've got the Burgusia castle. Let's kind of look at them by stops. So there's the old town to the downtown, and this thing stops at every single station along the way. The old town to the Burgusia Liberal Arts College of Knowledge via the National Park. The old town to the airport, the downtown Anchor Gardens transfer, the oil town downtown express line, and the Burgusia castle to the University of Burgusia transfer line. So kind of lots of major train lines that are flowing through here. There's one that we haven't used yet, and we may put something else in here. And we've also added in the metro stops around now as well. So let's go ahead and hit play, and we'll kind of watch all this new public transport infrastructure come to life. These people will slowly float back to safety. We'll begin to see some people coming in. Really interested to see how this performs. And there we go, people already using the paths to get around. Fantastic. Here come the first trains as well. We'll definitely change up the train colours as well, so they're not all kind of this orange looking thing. But already just kind of seeing them leave. You know, it's much more impressive, isn't it, considering we just had this one sunken line here before. We've now got all this pretty heavy rail infrastructure. That's kind of in around. Where is he going? I'm not sure where you are. Oh, he's returned to station. Okay, so he's an old train. That's fine. I'll say this one's actually redundant now. We don't need this line anymore because there's none that travel that direction. We may put some back in there. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, people using the toll booth here to pay to get out of town. It's going to earn us a ton of money. This will be super, super busy. See, now most of the pedestrian crossings are free because everyone's choosing to walk. Oh, look at this. This is why I play City Skylines, to see people walking on elevated zoo paths. I could literally just sit here and watch this for hours. Let me know, do you guys have something in City Skylines like that, where you can just sit and watch it for hours on end? Because I really do enjoy watching how the world go by, especially when there's elevated zoo paths involved. So you'll notice there's pretty much no pedestrians walking on the road. They're all choosing the path. Let's have a little look at this park graphic. Where is it? Elizabeth Meadows. Yeah, look at that. Park trees. Let's bump up the price. Let's see how many we can get in here, and we'll hopefully see a bunch of people coming in here as well. We'll hang around and wait for an intercity train to come through and see how many people use this one. We did buff the price up, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Just take a little pan around. So you can see there's almost no cars leaving the train station because they can walk. Prime example of making your city walkable. Oh, I could sit here for days. There's been a couple of people asking as well about the updated save file. I will update the save file once the series is finished. So that'll be after the final episode, which will be next episode of the kind of the big cinematic. So you know, you guys will get the updated save file, but this is working nicely. A little bit of collision coming through, but you know, it's City Skylines, you can live with it. It's not the smoothest thing in the world, but it's certainly a lot better, and once it's kind of detailed up with trees and stuff. We may even add a little slip road off here to take them into this direction. Just as another option for them. People choosing to cycle as well. It's amazing. Let's have another look at that park graphic. 2,637 in income with such a low entertainment value. So we can even put some entertainments around here if we wanted to. Oh, but yeah, it's just amazing. So we'll plan in something of a hospital now. So why are they kind of walking alongside the train here? I want quite an impressive building. Now there is an asset we haven't used yet that came with the Japan Content Creator Pack, and this is the General Hospital. And it looks really good. It's got lots of parking decals outside it. And I think kind of as a nice frontage to the train station, this would be a really cool building to kind of emerge out into. I actually wonder if we rearrange these assets a little bit. Let's delete the yoga garden, and then we'll move the sports hall and gymnasium as well alongside the basketball court. So we'll have that there. We'll then move the basketball court to here, and then we'll have the yoga garden there. This should give us a little more room to kind of play with this path idea a little more, and also save ourselves a little bit of time for kind of detailing and stuff. Let's delete that one, and then we'll hook him into the end of the road like that. Fantastic. And then maybe just a touch of office zoning, so we have a little bit of administration for the hospital. And then we can get some nice trees and lush fences in around here and stuff. So let's actually look at that fence right now. So we'll grab... I'll try and make this an extra long episode today as well, guys, whilst it is kind of the last building one. I'm sure you will appreciate that. So apologies if you are a little off-put by the longer episode. So we'll run this park fence up to the back of the hospital. Fantastic. And then we'll take him up to the corner of the road as well and bring him up into the highway. Really, can we not squeeze under the bridge there? Thought we might have been able to. Seems a little strange. It's okay. And then we'll just grab our curve road tool again, and we'll just hug the little highway slip road as we start to emerge out of it. Just like a little crash barrier, right? And then we'll do the same up alongside the rail and the road as well. Imagine if we come off our angle tool here. Yeah, we'll be able to come all the way through. And just this little bit of detailing just to separate the rail and the road away from one another will just make it so much nicer. Okay, so we'll definitely flesh the rest of this out in the detail at the end of the episode. And now we have a path connection here. I don't know if I'm going to be too bothered about that, you know. Obviously they will be able to enter without paying the park fee, but you know, it's the end of the series. Who really cares? It's they're still coming through the gate anyway. Okay. Let's have a little discussion about this area over here. Now, we had a high school and fire station in this department, so we're going to want to make sure that we kind of rework those ideas back into this. So what we'll do is, first of all, we'll come out with a regular road. Of course, we want all our snapping on. And then we'll have, how big are the high schools? I think the Institute of Creative Arts will probably be the better route, the better kind of asset to suit this area. So again, we'll separate it onto its own road, and then we'll place it into here. And I guess we could expand the park into here, throw in some cafes, a little bit of a park square. I think that'll be kind of really perfect for this area. So let's grab our park fence again. We haven't done this side, have we? It's fine. Bring it up to there. I'll do the rest of these kind of parks and stuff towards the end of the episode. And then if we hook in there, this is again another opportunity for a park side gate to kind of come in here. So this is a kind of a really odd shaped park. You know, your parks don't always have to be, you know, squares or circles. If you can take the form of the empty space that is left in between your road network. So add another side gate, and then what I'll do is towards the end of the episode we'll begin to plan out some kind of park here with assets and stuff. Kind of maybe get some playgrounds in here. So kind of as you're driving into the town, you're already seeing this really nice, super important building. And then we'll have some nice high-rise residential along here as well. So I'm pretty sure the noise pollution from these roads is really minimal. Yeah, so high density will be able to withstand that amount of noise pollution, no problem. I'm going to go for very specific zonings here. Let's get the game to play, and we're going to make a lot of these buildings historical as well. And what we'll do is we'll have one more probably there, and then we'll save these for kind of paths to get back through into that area over there. We're also missing the fire station. Let's get him back in. So he's a really kind of important, you know, these kind of larger fire stations, they look really good up alongside the corners here. Kind of make a really nice corner building come together. We may run some low density. What else is in this area? It's a lot of residential and low density commercial, isn't it? Okay, so I think we'll run with that low density commercial, I think, all the way along. Maybe not on this little slope here. Take them away. And then we'll begin to develop kind of a little bit of a theme along here. Let's make sure we save some room for some pathways to come through. We'll go for the crossroads here, so right through there. And then possibly one along the back as well. And then may even make these green cities high densities. I think we will, you know, just because the assets that I'm looking for here are kind of, I have a very specific asset in mind that I want to generate here. Let's take some of that away. Let's go for sustainable housing, and then once they come in, I'll start to kind of keep my eye on them. How are we doing over here? Again, yeah, towards the end of the episode we'll do some nice detailing up along here. We have to be careful though, the pollution from the oil is really heavy in this area. But that's kind of the majority of the build done. We've got a broken line there, I'll have to fix that. Yeah. So just kind of observe the traffic around here, guys. No one is, well, a few people are generating cars, that's natural. But pretty much 99% of them are choosing to just walk into the train station, which is amazing. There's not vast amounts of people using the park, which was different in my testing, which is interesting. I wonder if I made the road a little longer. Maybe that's the issue. Let's paint out the district area here for our Green Cities car parks, and we'll start to generate those. So of course we know it's 2 by 2. So we'll just have kind of 4 in here, and then we'll have a path that runs alongside this bit of road down here. There's also this little bit along this side too that I've yet to do anything with. And I guess I'll just tidy up when we detail. Switch this down to a smaller road. Yeah, we'll just begin to see what kind of develops here. Yeah, okay, so these are the kind of buildings I'm wanting to look at. We'll keep you. We'll have you as well. But what I'm going to do, guys, this is going to feel like a good place for the final time in Burgusia to jump into a detailing time-lapse. And we're going to spice this thing up, lots of trees, finish off these park areas, and wait for our car parks to develop by the train station as well. Do we have the opportunity to do it here as well? Yeah, we do. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, guys, for the last time, we'll be right back. And for the final time, that is going to do it for today, guys. If you enjoyed, a like below is always appreciated. Equally as much if you didn't enjoy it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. I hope you will all join me in agreeing that this rail interchange is much more impressive and serves as a much better introduction to this part of the map. It's much grander, much more just better, I think, in my opinion. It's really cool to see all the trains kind of flowing in and out and around the road infrastructure. And some kind of final figures, the rail station is getting kind of near enough 2,000 people a week. The main park that goes over the rail yard is making a little under 4,000 with all the people paying to come across it. It's pretty crazy. It's a great way to achieve the park life stuff if you haven't already kind of done that. I really want to thank you all so much for the support on Burgusia. It has been by far and away my most successful series, and the channel has seen exponential growth because of it, and I'm sure it will continue to get views long after it is finished. So just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for the support on the series. Episode 70 will be a final farewell to Burgusia, as we look at a cinematic tour and also some kind of first person stuff around the city as well, and that will be out hopefully before the weekend. The next series after this will be a let's play, still to be decided. It might be slightly modded like the build guide, it might be vanilla. There is still a poll up on the channel and I think vanilla is just about winning at the moment, so we'll kind of wait and see as to what develops from that series. Otherwise, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.